Hi, I'm Rebecca Mander, and you are listening to the Bounce Mindset podcast. During my time as a busy mum and managing director in 2007, I managed significant personal loss and professional challenges as the only woman on the board. I believe we always have a choice, and that a resilient and what I call a bounce mindset is possible for anyone to develop. Join me as we meet some incredible guests, sharing their bounce forward stories, including my own in episode 1. I'm so excited to have you here, and also would like to thank Grow Radio Production and Stephen Bedell for Dragonfly, my very own theme tune. Enjoy. Some people face setbacks that change the course of their lives, but rare few turn those challenges into a powerful source of inspiration. Today, we're joined by someone who embodies resilience, determination, and an unbreakable spirit. Once a rising football star with dreams of a professional career, his world changed in an instant after a catastrophic accident. But that wasn't the end of his story, thankfully. It was just the beginning of an extraordinary comeback. From relearning how to walk and talk to earning international football caps and an MBE, his journey is nothing short of remarkable. I'm so delighted to introduce you today to a guest that proves that no setback is greater than the power of perseverance and bounce mindset. Welcome to the show, Charlie Fogarty MBE.
Yay. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. That was fantastic how you mentioned all that perseverance, resilience, bouncing back with the bounce mindset. That's how you get through hard times, I believe.
Absolutely.
It's about never giving up. And I've actually got a shirt on that I thought I'd wear this shirt because I do my speeches in it. And I'm not sure if you can see. Anything is possible on the top.
Anything is possible. That is so true. Yeah. Anything is possible. Well, Charlie, I can't wait to hear your story and to share your story. I've heard it before at the Chamber of Commerce event, and you just you blew the audience away. And I remember you came on. I think you were on before me, and it was such a hard act to follow. I was thinking, I don't know.
Yeah, I can only apologise for that.
So give us a bit of a flavour, Charlie, of your life as a child. We're going to talk a lot about the ages from 16 onwards, but before you were 16, paint us a picture of your childhood, if you would.
Well, I can't remember liking much more than football. It was my life, was and always has been and still is great, thankfully.
Yes.
Football, yes.
And before the accident that you're going to tell us about, you just finished a 4-year contract at Birmingham City Football Academy. Is that right?
Yes. I'd just been released in the January because they were with me. They were very undecided because when I was in under 12, I was given a 4-year contract because of how technically gifted I was. But for some reason, I never grew. I was always quite small. I was a fantastic long distance runner. It was short speed. I wasn't that quick and I planned down my height. But yeah, so I was given a 4-year contract and then so I've been let go in the January and I was currently trialling at MK Dons.
Yeah, Milton Keynes.
Yeah, so because I had to train 3 or 4 times a week. I had to constantly coming back home. Mum and Dad would drive me up there to Milton Keynes, 2 hours it took, and driving me home again. And at the same time, because I was in year 11 at the time, I was revising for my GCSEs. So as you can imagine, a lot of hard work was having to be done.
Yeah. So already, I remember learning about Lionel Messi, who was kicked off his football team because
Yeah,
he was too short at the
yes.
age of 11.
Hmm.
And so from a very early age, you had learnt this determination, this
Yeah,
perseverance to keep practicing, keep playing, and it was paying off because
yes.
to get scouted for those teams, that's not average players, the
And I mean,
best.
when I was at MK Dons, a player called Dele Alli was in the same team as me. And for
Wow.
those football fans listening, they'll know
Yes.
who Dele Alli is and how good he is.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
just such an achievement. And you were doing your GCSEs at the same
Yeah,
time.
I was, because I was always kind of academically bright. I'd done my maths GCSE because I was in fast track maths. So I
Right.
did that a year early.
God.
So,
And you were doing your exams on the day of your accident. Well, you weren't
mhm.
doing your exams, you were celebrating a bit of a break, I think,
Yeah,
from your exams, weren't
yeah,
you? And off to
probably.
see a concert.
Yes, because it was the weekend and I went down to catch the bus and I was going to meet my mate in Solihull. And
Mhm.
all this I'm about to tell you is only what I've been told because the doctors and nurses tell you the brain is such a clever thing, it wipes out from your memory any day of trauma as it was.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you can't remember it like that much, or I can't remember it at
Mm.
all, which,
Yes.
as you said earlier, might be a blessing for me.
Yes.
And yeah, I was going to meet my mate in Solihull, and then we were going to go into Birmingham from there to see Drake at a
Hmm.
concert. And all I've been told is I was on the bus, and on this day, for some reason, it took a different course. So when I didn't know where I was, unfamiliar territory, I asked the driver, "Are we going to get back into Solihull?" And he told me to get off at the next stop, cross over the road, and get another bus back into Solihull. So I was doing that, and as I crossed the road and I crossed in front of the bus, another car that was overtaking the bus hit me. At the time, I obviously stepped out in front of the bus onto the road, and the car hit me, and I took the majority of the hit with my head.
Goodness me. And I just can't imagine what was going through everybody's head when that happened. And
No.
I'm sure you were rushed to hospital,
Mm.
Birmingham Children's Hospital, I think it
Yes.
was. And your mum and dad were at your brother's or a children's party, birthday
Yeah.
party, and they were called to the hospital. And
Yes.
you were placed in an induced coma where
Yeah.
for 11 days, apparently, it was very uncertain.
Yeah. Yeah. I had something called a diffuse axonal brain injury, which is a huge shaking of the brain. And on arrival at the hospital, because my parents were driven there by in a police car with blue flashing lights, so you can only imagine the terror
Yeah.
of them, if you like. And so they were so worried, being driven at the speed of light to the
Hmm.
hospital. And I believe the first thing, one of the first things they were told was those who suffered diffuse axonal don't usually recover. So you can only
Mm.
imagine then
What
what's
they were
going
going
through
through,
their minds.
what
Yeah.
they were going through.
I was 11 days in intensive care.
Hmm.
I was
Hmm.
in there for, so obviously that's like where the most severe injuries go. And
Yes.
that's how long I had to be in there for. And then, because when I was back on the ward, I was in a initial coma for 4 months.
Yes.
And when I started to wake up from that, I was then in an ambulance. I was transferred to the Children's Trust in Surrey.
Mhm.
And all I remember from that is being in the ambulance, waving at my mum, because I I could see that she was somewhat distressed. So I just wanted to let her know I was okay. But not being able to talk, that was hard, so I just waved.
Your empathy comes across in everything you're talking about. You said earlier to me
Mm.
before we came on that you struggle to show or share or have, I think it was, emotions, but
Yeah,
actually your empathy, that's
yeah,
it,
I struggled to cry.
yeah, but your
Mm.
empathy is phenomenal. And at that time, in that state, for you to
Yes.
have that empathy for your
Mm.
mum and to
Mm-hmm.
be able to muster the courage to wave
Yeah.
is just phenomenal. And really, although I suppose you were still not out of the worst of it, and you had to learn to do everything again. Is that right, Charlie?
Yes. Because I was on my back for so long, I had to learn to walk, talk, eat, dress myself, wash myself, do all the basic human tasks that we almost take for granted, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn to do them all over again from scratch. In many ways, I went back to being a baby
Really?
because I remember now, in the Children's Trust in Surrey, I remember being in pads, so like nappies, because
Mm.
I couldn't communicate the way to tell people I needed to go to the toilet, so I couldn't talk. So you can only imagine how hard that was for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you say that your mind, so you couldn't speak and you couldn't move, but do you think your mind was still at the age of a 16-year-old or 17-year-old boy? So that you had those feelings of embarrassment, perhaps,
Yeah,
when things like that happened.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's quite hard, yeah, because I've never really thought of it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good that's very interesting actually, how or why it occurred there, because even when I was having a shower, because obviously I don't have the full use of all my limbs, so I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't stand up and wash my hair and everything myself.
But yeah, so it must have been very frustrating.
I couldn't get my arms up to my head, probably because I've been in a coma with my arms all curled in, because for so long my muscles had almost seized up
Yes.
and gone
Yeah.
stiff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, Charlie. So yes, like you had the mind of a 17-year-old, but the
Yeah,
functionality and the skills and the neuro skill set
yeah,
of a young baby, I guess. And
yeah,
you learnt to do everything again. You had to learn again. You had a lot of work to do, but
yeah,
you had a lot of support. You had a great, I think it's Dr. Rodriguez, and
yes,
lots of friends and family around you. Tell me about them
yeah,
and how important they were to you.
yeah. I mean, biggest one has been my family, and my
Mm-hmm.
family they've been through everything with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel we're so close because they've always been there. Like my mum, she's always been there. She was by my side throughout the whole time, and while I was in a coma, she was there. And then when I woke up, as I told you in the ambulance,
Mm-hmm.
she was one of the first faces I saw again.
Yeah.
And then my dad played a vital role because not only was he coming in and out to see me in the hospital, his boss at work had let him have as much time off as he needed to be with me, so he
Mm-hmm.
could also, if you like, play mum and dad to
Mm-hmm.
my other two siblings at home
Right.
because they were going to school every day, and that's when I believe my dad would probably come in and spend a bit of time with me, and
Yeah.
then he'd have to go back to cook them a meal, probably beans on toast, knowing my dad, and he'd have to do their washing for them,
Yeah.
so to make sure they had clean clothes every day. So that's still what I can imagine. So I've never really asked mum or dad about that.
That must have been so hard for your parents as well, and
Yeah.
wanting to give their siblings what they needed,
Yes.
your siblings, sorry, what they needed. At the
Yes.
same time, it must have just been exhausting.
Of course. And then my granddad, who I'm very extremely close with, he used to come in, get the train into the Birmingham Children's Hospital every other day or every day to see me.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to Tadworth in Surrey, it was a lot harder, obviously, but when they could, they came down and visited both my grandparents and my aunties, uncles, cousins. Families had such a big part to play. And back then, especially at the children's hospital, when my parents were told that they've never experienced someone have so many visitors because literally my whole secondary school came in to visit me. I was a very popular lad.
I remember in your talk you say how
Yeah.
you've never had so many women visit you. It was something you
Yeah.
really loved.
Well, yeah. All my friends and all my well, not all my girlfriends, but yeah, all girls who'd come in and see me just make sure I was okay,
Yeah.
and they used to look after me, give me kisses and everything. But it's unfortunate that I can't remember that.
Oh, you are funny. That's so
Thank
funny.
you. I'll
And
try.
you are, I remember you make me
Hmm.
laugh a lot. And so your family and your friends and that support carried you through.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there was a point in time when you were conscious and you thought, I have got to fight this, I have got to bounce forward, I have got to get through this? That determination, where do you think it started from?
Yeah, I think a big part in that determination starting was jealousy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, seeing my friends doing things that I couldn't, and knowing that at one time I was better, I was faster at running, and after I was back home from hospital, about 2 years at home, we went away to Portugal, and we stayed in like a villa, and my parents asked me before, who do you want to come with you? You're gonna be allowed one friend to make it a bit more enjoyable for me. And said my best friend at the time, Niall Grace, used to come into hospital really often and see
Mm-hmm.
me, and he used to help me with a lot of things. And I've really got to thank him for this because he used to. I've got pictures somewhere, I don't know where, but of because to help build my leg muscles up again in the rehab centre, I had like a standing frame and I had to
Mm-hmm.
stand. And there's a picture of Niall next to me, and we're both smiling into the camera. And he used to be there doing that with me because when I was doing it on my own, I used to stand up, but my legs would go very easily. But when Niall was there, it was almost like a competition.
Yeah,
I was trying to stand longer than he was, which,
yeah,
at that time, being realistic, I'm never going to do. But, with me, I have that. You don't want to give up. Never give
yes,
up.
yes, yes. That's incredible. So Niall was really instrumental in
Yes.
and having that person, having
Yeah.
someone that's really close to you in age. And so
Hmm.
you took him on holiday with you.
Yeah, I did. And yeah, sorry, I lose my trail of
No,
thought.
it's
Yeah,
fine. It's
he
fine.
came on a holiday and he used to take things that mates do, take things from you. And then he
Yeah.
used to run away. Or he used to run and jump in the pool. And I couldn't catch him to stop him from doing that. So it really frustrated me.
Yeah.
But I think even now I probably couldn't because I do have a limp when I
Yeah.
walk, but I'm working on that every day, near
Wow.
enough, 3 times a week with my physio, and I just want to get as close to I was before to help me with other activities such as my football, which I love.
Yes. And did you think at when you came out of your coma and when you were lying in bed all those months, did you think, I'm never going to play football again? I'm never going to, my life is over. You would be forgiven for thinking that. I remember
Yeah.
myself thinking that when my son died. I remember thinking, oh my God, that's it. My life is finished.
Mm.
There's nothing. Was that going through your mind?
Uh, I'm almost gonna sound unhuman like here, but
Hmm.
when I say no, I've never had that feeling
Wow.
of my life is over. I've never
Hmm.
thought that because at the rehab centre there was a football court, and I
Hmm.
used to go there with my dad pushing me and my mum often taking videos so I remember it, and my brother and sister both playing with me and shooting the goal. Of course, I couldn't really kick my legs, but it just felt great to be back playing on the football pitch again.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that moment where I don't really even touch the ball, but just
Yeah.
being back on a football pitch, for me, something clicked in my mind that went, this is the start, and you are never gonna be back here again. And what I mean by that is, I'm never going to be on a football pitch in the same situation as I'm in at that point, never in a wheelchair. So, and lo and behold, I haven't been. I've been back almost walking, I was that slow, then jogging, then running, which I am now, because I train nearly every day.
Really? Wow. And that training nearly
Yes,
every day really paid off,
yeah, it has
um,
definitely.
because the brain injury that you acquired
Hmm.
is similar to that of somebody with cerebral palsy,
Yes.
and you were selected for a very special team. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I think it was when I remember it clearly. It was when I was in school. My phone rang and it was my dad. And my dad said, Charlie, I've been speaking with Northern Ireland because I played when I was at Blues and MK Dons before. Something I didn't mention was I played for Northern Ireland.
Right. No, I
So,
didn't know that. Yes.
and I was currently trialing to get in the Victory Shield squad, which was at that time shown on Sky Sports. So I was really excited for that. Obviously, the injury happened, so that didn't happen. And yeah, my dad phoned me and said Northern Ireland have asked if you would like to go over and trial with a view to being selected for the upcoming 2015 Cerebral Palsy World Championships at St. George's Park, and I was like, absolutely. And then when I was there, I kind of got asked, how come I can play for this team? Because I don't have cerebral palsy.
Mhm.
And the manager just took me to one side and said, no, but you do have a acquired brain injury. And because of the symptoms are very similar because a cerebral palsy is a brain injury. So
Yes.
yeah, and that's what allows me to play because of the brain injury.
So
And
you tried
I
out.
tried out for them, and then I remember again being at school, dad ringing a few months later, and I answered the phone, and my dad was crying, and I was, you first thought it's something bad's happened, but
Yeah.
he just went, Charlie, you got in, and I was like, in what? Are you crying? Or he went, yeah, you've been selected for the World Championship squad. And of course, then I'm walking around school with my chest puffed out, oh, thinking I'm the best in the world, which hasn't happened yet. But
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. And what does it feel like to be playing with
yeah,
them, with that
well,
team?
every time I pull on the Northern Ireland shirt, I, as well as all my family, all my friends, there's one man I feel I'm representing, and that's my granddad, who came into hospital almost every day on the train, who's 91 now, may I just add, still going strong. Not as strong, he's got a bit of trouble in his hips, but still going strong. And he was born in Limavady over in Northern Ireland, just outside Belfast. And he's the reason I can play for Northern Ireland. And
Right.
that's so every time I put on the jersey, I know I'm representing my granddad.
Wow, that's just incredible, Charlie. Really
Thank you.
amazing. And that's so lovely that you were inspired by him.
Yeah,
And that saw you gain 5 international caps and play
yeah.
in 2 World Cups, 2 cerebral palsy World Cups, one in England and one in Argentina. Am I right?
Well, I've now played in four,
Wow.
so it's World Cup every 2 years, Euros every 4 years, and I played in three, sorry, European Championships now
Wow.
in Denmark, England, and Spain
Wow. Fantastic. And did your parents go to watch?
all the time.
Of course.
They are.
Oh, I'm sure they're extremely proud of you, aren't they, Charlie?
Yes, I can only hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I remember you saying that it was jealousy and envy that pushed
Yes.
you. You wanted to be
Mm.
like other people.
Yeah.
But actually, I wonder as well if that's a bit like you're inspired by your granddad, that these people like Niall and your dad and your mum in and the people you're watching doing things that you'd love to do.
Yeah.
Another word for jealousy would be inspired. They
Yeah.
inspired you. You looked at
Mm.
them and you wanted to be like them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
quite often we do, when we're going through adversity, we are
Hmm.
inspired by people who absolutely can make it and get
Yes.
there. And we watch them and we think, I want to be like that as part of that person that I'd like to replicate. I'd like to do that.
Absolutely. Yes. But with me and my competitive nature, it I look at people I see doing good well, like my
Mm-hmm.
friends, like my family, but I want to do what they're doing and then surpass them because I
Right.
want to be the best. And now something that maybe has played or planted a little seed in the back of my mind was before I got here, in my school year, was a boy called Jack Grealish,
Oh, wow.
who's, yep, you've heard of, and I'm
Yes.
sure everyone listening will have heard of. When he was at Villa as a young boy, I was at Blues when we used to come up against each other. me at right back, him at left wing, is a battle that,
Yes.
being honest, he always won. But yeah, that's the only time. Yeah, no. And I played with Jack, and also at Blues was a boy called Demari Gray, who went on to win the Premier League for Leicester City. And so
Okay.
the knowing that them two people my age and seeing what achievements they've gone on to make
Hmm.
does inspire me to want to
Hmm.
achieve more and more every day.
Absolutely. And you do, it is wonderful how inspired you are. Where are you now? You're inspiring so many other people now with your journey and
Yeah.
your story. Today is not the first time you've told your story, is it?
No, I do speak around the country, and I haven't quite been abroad, but I've been to Northern Ireland, and I
Yes.
spoke to the Irish FA. Oh, when I was in Northern Ireland at the Northern Irish Football Stadium, I spoke to the all the heads of the IFA different departments, and in the audience that day was Michael O'Neill, the Northern Irish first team coach, and after the speech, I got presented with my first two football caps that I won, and mm, there's a picture I've got again somewhere. It's in my speech, I know that for a fact, of
Mhm.
me and Michael both wearing one of my caps.
Not only have you got those accolades, and also another very special accolade you awarded was your MBE. Tell us how that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, no, I think well, it was. I was awarded it in March 2018 for my services to young people in Solihull. And
Yes.
I got awarded it by Prince William, just to
Oh,
say our future king. So
yes, just to say exactly. And he's a
yeah,
very big football supporter of a Birmingham team as well. I'm not
yeah,
going to.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
Villa. So not that I have anything against Villa fans, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, just amazing. So you've got your MBE, you're speaking, and we'll use the word yet, because I know that's a good word. You and your
yeah,
dad always use that
yeah.
word. So you're not speaking abroad yet,
Mm-hmm.
but you are speaking all over the country, and I'm no doubt sure that you'll be speaking abroad very soon. What else is on the horizon for you, Charlie, as you look to your future?
Well, so with the speaking, I just hope to inspire millions of people.
Hmm.
There's no doubt that I've spoken to thousands, but
Hmm.
how many of them I've inspired is totally personal.
Hmm.
And but I kind of fell into this line of work. I fell into teaching because I had a lot of time on my hands. And my dad, because there's a local school right next to where I live, and my dad went into that school and just spoke to, he spoke to the bursar and just said something like, again along the lines of, look, my son Charlie is very hardworking and all this, and but he has a lot of free time on his hands. Can he come in to volunteer a couple of days a week? So I'm now working 4 days a week at Breakfast Club. I'm a casual worker at lunchtime, and I still am doing my voluntary teaching assistant work, and I only ever want to get better at everything I do.
You'll be headmaster, headmistress. You'll take her job soon before.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, I'm not a headmistress.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Well, you never know. We're in 2025.
Exactly. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, Charlie. So, yeah, Charlie, I forgot to mention that you actually also got your sports science program degree, which is
Hmm.
just
Yeah,
phenomenal. I don't doubt you'll be incredible in that school, and they're so, so blessed to have you. I know they will count their blessings for having you. I'm sure
yeah.
in no time you'll be running the place. But what else would you like to leave anyone listening? What would you like to leave them with?
Well, it's just, I suppose, when somebody has been injured so badly they have to go to hospital,
Mm-hmm.
doctors and nurses, I I can't take anything away from them. I owe them my
Mm-hmm.
life,
Mm-hmm.
and I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I would say to anyone listening is when they tell you a well, my parents were told they would never know me again. They were also told Charlie won't be able to complete further or higher education, and I've got a degree. They have to, and yeah, it's what they have to do. They have to give you the worst possible outcome. But what no one or a lot of people don't give you the one thing you're almost clinching onto as a
Mm-hmm.
parent or as a carer, and that is hope.
Yeah.
You don't get many people who will give you hope that
Mm-hmm.
things can get better and will get better with perseverance, determination, never giving up attitude, because you just can't, if you don't try, you'll never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
A favorite saying of mine is not to aim for the sky, aim for the stars, because if you miss by just a fraction, the clouds are a great landing. And
Love that.
I'll leave you with that one.
That is a brilliant place to leave us on. They are an amazing place to land.
Yeah,
And as you said, another time, you said our journey can take a lot longer. It might be frustrating. You're on a way to a journey, or you're trying to pass your driving or take your driving lessons, and
yeah,
it takes time and it's frustrating. But
absolutely.
yes, aiming for it, you
Hmm.
get to know and believe, as you have on your t-shirt, that anything is possible.
Yeah, that's it.
You'd rather get a no than a never know. If you
Yeah,
don't
that's
try,
it.
you'll never know. And
That's it,
you,
100%.
yeah, and you embody that so beautifully, Charlie.
Thank you.
It's been such an honor to work with you today and before previously. I tell everybody about you. I should be on commission for your
Oh,
speaking
thank you.
gigs.
Yeah, yeah, it should be.
You're just so inspirational. And thank you so much for being with me today. And thank you to your lovely mum as well, who's been there in the background, as she
Mm,
always is, making
yeah,
sure that you've
yeah,
got everything you need. And I really would encourage people to follow you, Charlie, and also the Charlie Fogarty Foundation, which
yeah,
raises grants and funding for children coming out of injuries such as you
yes.
suffered.
Or even going into, because I was in a very fortunate place, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
because where I went, the Children's Trust in Surrey,
Mm-hmm.
because it was at the time the best place in the country, the funds required by my family to get me there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will definitely put a link for people to follow you and to follow
Yes,
the charity.
yeah.
And thank you very much, Charlie. I look
No,
forward to
thank you.
following you and hearing how you get on. And it's
Because
lovely to,
I only want the best for people.
yes.
That's what anyone can hope for.
That's right. That's so true. Thank you, Charlie.
No,
Take
thank
care.
you. It's been great to speak to you today.
Thank you for listening to the Bounce Mindset podcast. If you would like a coach in your pocket with free regular hints and tips to help you bounce forward in your career or personal life, then please feel free to go to the Bounce Mindset podcast show notes. And don't forget to leave a review for us. Thank you. Bye.